In this video, we are going to see how to create Todoist tasks for new Google Form responses. So let's say that you are using Google Form as a form builder application and every time a new response is received there. So with the information received, you want to create a task in Todoist. So how can that be done? For this, you will have to integrate the two applications and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect software. So every time a form is filled, automatically a task would be created here. Your trigger application would be Google Forms and your action application would be Todoist. Now, how can you do this yourself? Integrate and automate this entire process. To understand that, let me take you to my screen. To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, here we have reached the landing page of this software. On the right hand side, we can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, simply click on sign in. If you are a new user, click on this tab sign up. It won't take more than 2 minutes, and also at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks. So now I'm going to click on sign in. And as I do that, here we have reached all applications page. Let's click on access now for Pabbly Connect. And here we have reached the dashboard of this application. On the right hand side, you can see a tab create workflow. Let's click on this. Now, what is my objective here? My objective is that every time a form is filled, here we have taken the example of Google Forms. So with the information that has been collected there, I want to create a Todoist task. So I'm going to name it as Create Todoist tasks from new Google Forms responses. Let's click on create. As we do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One is trigger, another one is action. Triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens, action says do this. Basically, action here is the response of our trigger application. Now I'm going to choose my application, which is Google Forms. Let's click on this. And as I do that, now the trigger event. So this is the event that will make this workflow run. New response received. Here we have received a webhook URL which is going to act as a bridge for connecting Google Forms with Pabbly Connect. I'm going to copy this. So once I've done this, we have to follow the following steps. This is the help desk given. Now I'm going to show you what you have to do. So first you have to go to your Google Forms. Here I've already created a form. Let's click on this. Now the name of this form is task details and then description is new task. Here I have given the following fields: task name, description, then project associated. So to understand this, I'm going to take you to my Todoist account. I have already logged in over here. These are the various projects that I've already created. Now either you can ask in your Google form to write the name of the project. Here I have given multiple choices. So once this is done, last field is due date. So the due date of the task has to be mentioned here. Now what you have to do is, there is this field required. So we have to toggle this towards the right so that it is turned on. Once this is done, we have to go to responses. And here we have the 3 dots. Let's click on this. It is asking us to select the response destination. So here we have got two options. Either we can create a new spreadsheet or we can select an existing spreadsheet. So I'm going to create a new spreadsheet. Let's click on create. As we do that, we are going to click on this spreadsheet icon. And here you would be able to see a sheet has been created with all the fields that we have mentioned in our Google form. And there is one extra one, which is timestamp. Now this timestamp is going to register the date and time of the data entered. Now I'm going to take you back to Google Forms. And here I'm going to fill up the form. So we are going to go to preview. Now let's fill in the details. Let's say the name of the task is new task. Then we have the description. So this is demo description. Now the project associated. So let's say it is Todoist integration. And then we have the due date. So let's say the due date is 23rd of January. So once this is done, I'm going to click on submit. So here we can see that the form has been submitted. Now I'm going to take you to the Google Sheet that has been created, and here you can see that the information has been filled. Now we have to integrate this Google Sheet with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to go to extensions. Then here you can see add-ons. We have to go to get add-ons. As we do that, here we have reached Google Workspace Marketplace. Here we are going to look for Pabbly Connect Webhooks application. And you can see that it has already been installed on my system. So once you have installed this, please close this window and do not forget to refresh this page. So once you have done that, we are going to wait for a few seconds and then we are going to go back to extensions. And here you would be able to see Pabbly Connect webhooks. So we are going to go to initial setup here. Now here you can see that a window has appeared and it has already selected the sheet, which is form responses 1. Now here we have to enter the webhook URL that we have just received through Pabbly Connect. I'm going to copy this once again and paste this over here. Then the trigger column. So the trigger column is the final data column where the data is added. So in this particular sheet, it is column E. So I'm going to write column E, send test, and now submit. So as we do that, here we can see that the configuration is all set. Now I'm going to close this, go back to extensions, go back to Pabbly Connect webhooks. Here you can see send on event. So this has to be checked so that every time the workflow runs, it can send us the response. If this is not checked, we will not receive the response. So I'm going to click on this. Once this is done, I'm going to take you to Pabbly Connect to see if we have received the API response. And yes, here we have received the response. This is the trigger column. Timestamp, this is the name of the task, spreadsheet name, ID, sheet name, sheet ID, then we have row index. Here we have project associated, due date and description. So once we have received this, what is my objective? With this information, I want to create a task in Todoist. So my action application here would be Todoist. Let's click on this. And the action event here would be to create a task. Let's click on connect. Here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with the Todoist account. So we are going to click on add new connection. And here to set up this connection, we need a token. For this, first we have to log into our Todoist account. We have already done that. And now I'm going to click on this hyperlink. As I do that, here we have to go to developers and this is our API token key. So I'm going to copy this to clipboard, go back to Pabbly Connect and paste this over here. Once done, let's click on save to set up this connection. And here we can see that Todoist and Pabbly Connect are now connected. Now we have to fill in this information. Basically, we have to map this information. How do we map? So as I click on this, it is going to show me the previous step and then let's say the content is task name. So this is new task. Then we have the description. So again, I'm going to click on this, and then we have here the description. So this is how we map. Why is mapping important? So that the system can take new data into consideration. Because if I had written this manually, so every time the workflow would have run, it would have only taken the manually written data. That is why mapping is important. Now the project ID. So the project ID is, so I have selected Todoist integration. Now the section, parent ID, human readable representation of due date, etc. So here we have got 3 formats of due date. We have to fill in just one. It is written here that you have to enter the date in this format, year, month and date. But the date that we have received here is in a different format. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another action step over here. This time, the application is a feature by Pabbly, which is datetime formatter. Let's click on this. And now the action event would be to format date only. Let's click on connect. First of all, I'm going to map this date. So this here is the date. This is in which format? This is in month, date and year. So let's select the format first, month, date and year, and without the time. So this is the format. Now, what is the format that I want? Year, month and date. So this is the format. Now I'm going to click on save and send test request. As I do that, here we can see that we have received the response. This is my new format. And now I'm going to go back to Todoist. Here I'm going to refresh this connection by selecting the existing connection. And here, let's go to due date. And now I'm going to go to step 2 and this is my due date. So we do not have to fill in this and this. Why? Because we are just supposed to fill one field. Then the label IDS, assignee ID. So here again you have got 2 IDs. I'm going to select this ID and then the priority. Let's say it is extremely urgent. Now I'm going to click on save and send test request. So as soon as I have done that, here we have received the API response. This here is the task ID. Then this is the project ID. Again, as I take you down, this is the name of the task. Then demo description is the description. And here it is the date of creation. This is the due date. Now, I'm going to take you to Todoist to see if this task has been created. So we are going to go to this project Todoist integration, and yes, here you can see that this particular task has been created. This has been marked red. Why? Because the priority is extremely high, urgent. Let me show you the details. So the description is demo description, then here is the due date, then this is the priority, and this is the name of the project associated. So this basically means that our integration process is a success. But we also need to check this in real time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you back to the Google form and I'm going to submit another response. Let's say the name of the task is dummy task and description is again dummy description. Okay. Then we have the project associated. So let's say this time it is Jira issues. And what is the due date? So the due date here is 31st of January. Let's click on submit. So as I do that, here we can see that the response has been recorded. Now I'm going to take you back to Todoist. And here I'm going to refresh this page once. And then I'm going to go to Jira issues. And yes, here we can see a task has been created, dummy task. This basically means that our integration process is a complete success. Now I'm going to take you to Pabbly Connect to understand what we have done. So here our trigger application was Google Forms where the event was new response received, and our action application was Todoist where we had to create a task. Here we had chosen a feature by Pabbly which was date time formatter where we had to format the date. I hope this is absolutely clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the video description. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any specific integration to work on, you can always write to us. Not only this, but you can integrate multiple applications using Pabbly Connect software. To ask any of your query, you have to write at forum.pabbly.com. You can also visit our website which is www.pabbly.com/connect. To get all the details about the latest updates, the integrations and applications, you can visit our Facebook group. If in case you have found this video helpful, then do not forget to share this with your friends and colleagues so that they can also get into automation and make their life easy. I'm going to see you very soon with different integrations and automations. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Take care of yourself.